Hey mates, what's up? Welcome back to CB Breeze Tech. I hope you're all doing well. Today I'm going to show you how to set up Tor on your Monero-Node. That way you enhance your privacy with end-to-end encryption, avoiding clearnet, man-in-the-middle attacks or exit nodes, and many more advantages. So let's begin. Let's navigate to getmonero.org user guide and how to run Monero-Node. Let's do a short recap of what we did at the last video of setting up the node. So our node listen and communicate with other nodes via P2P protocol over port 18080, and it communicates with the wallet via RPC port 18089. That's all over the clearnet. We install the Monero packet suite and configure the Monero-D. So that's the daemon that manages the blockchain via the monerod.conf file. Let's take a look at the conf file first, and I will reset it back to the default configuration since I changed a couple of arguments and flags from our last lab. Okay, so I'm copy and pasting the configuration to the conf file. Now let's restart the service. Systemctl restart Monero-D. And now Monero-D load the default configuration and we're good to go. We also created systemd service that starts the Monero-D service at the boot and make sure it will run all the time to keep the blockchain sync 24/7 while the node is up and running. That way the node is always sync. Alright, so before we start with the Tor setup, first let's check that our local GUI wallet is still able to connect to the node locally via localhost. And as you can see, it's synced instantly. Let's check with another wallet on the same LAN. And as you can see, it's synced immediately as well. And to check the status of the Monero-D service, we run the systemctl status Monero-D. And let's write ps aux grep Monero-D. That will show you the useful information such as process ID and the argument it uses. And since the node is already fully synced, you can write top command and see that the Monero-D barely take resources after the syncing is done, not like before that the CPU was grinding on my old junky laptop. Alright, so let's run tail-f with the Monero log file location, and let's restart Monero-D daemon by typing systemctl restart Monero-D, and as you can see from the logs, it's fully synced. And last check, run ss-toolpen grep 180 so you can see which interface is listening and the relevant ports. Here we see that we choose 0000, so all the interfaces on the machine listening to port 18080 for P2P, that means our node to another nodes, and port 18089, our node to wallets via RPC. Alright, let's start the Tor setup. So the end goal, what we see from the website, to enable the following services. So you have your onion address and port 18084 for the nodes. P2P communication on Tor is different port. So it's not 180 now, it's 18084. And same for the RPC, onion address 18089, wallets communicate over the Tor to your node. So basically all the communication works over the Tor network. We never use exit node for the clearnet, so we are safe for man-in-the-middle attack if someone listening and sniffing the exit node. All the communication wallets to our node is encrypted and running over Tor, and all the communication between the over P2P is encrypted and running over Node as well. We never leave the Tor network, so we are safe, allegedly. And they explain why we use different Tors for P2P communication over the Tor network compared to the clearnet. Alright, let's start with the setup. Get into root sudo su. Now let's install Tor by entering sudo apt install Tor. And let's add the following lines to the Tor main configuration file under etc tor torrc. Basically, we're creating hidden folder for the Monero-D service and mentioning which port to listen on the local host. So every traffic that come to localhost port 9050, that's the Tor service, behind the scene will be proxied to those two ports, 180.89 for the wallet RPC communication and localhost 180.84, that's for the P2P node-to-node communication. So let's create hidden service directory for the Monero-D service and mentioning the ports 180.89 localhost, that's the interface for the wallet RPC, and another port 180.84 localhost, that's the interface for the P2P network node to node. And let's enable Tor, running systemctl enable Tor and systemctl restart Tor. And let's check Tor service status, run systemctl status Tor and systemctl status Tor at default. We can see that it's loaded, active and running, all seems good, connected, handshaked with the relay and circuits established. You can also write ps aux grep torrc just to be sure, and ss toolpan grep 950 to make sure the Tor listening on port 950 localhost. All right, let's get the onion address. Basically, that is an address that Tor creates from your private key and public key. So every time you create new hidden directory for services, it will generate new keys and onion address. Okay, so run cat var lib tor Monero-D hostname. That is your onion address. So don't share this onion address if you want to use the node privately. You can also add username and password to RPC. That's where your wallet will have to use username and password to connect your node. And let's enable Tor on Monero-D. That's the service that's in charge of the blockchain syncing and the management. So let's edit the Monero-D conf file. So uncomment tx proxy equal Tor and the localhost 950 disable noise. All right, now uncomment anonymous inbound and paste your onion address and save the file. Okay, so now your node available over Tor. So let's run the following get info request with your node onion address via JSON RPC request on port 180.89. And as you can see, it's work. And let's check from another machine on Tor network that we have access to the node. Just copy the URL and let's see if you're getting the get info request. So in this case, I will check with Brave browser. It's have built-in Tor access. And as you can see, we got the reply to our get info RPC request over port 180.89. So all good, we have access to the node. Now the wallet can communicate with the node. All right, let's check now with wallets that we are able to connect the node via Tor. I have another machine with two wallets. Let's start it and run the first wallet. I will use a feeder wallet. Feeder wallet is nice because it's to support Tor natively. So all the communication by default are routing over Tor. So let's load the wallet, copy the onion address of your node, go to File, Setting, Add Custom Node, paste the address and the port. And if you use flags RPC login, you can mention the username, password, add onion address, and port for the authentication. As you can see, the node is marked as green. That means that it's connected and the wallet is already fully synced. And make sure that the proxy Tor SOCKS 5 option is marked in order it will work. Now let's try the same with Monero GUI wallet. Load the wallet. choose your wallet file, go to Setting, Remote Node, and add Remote Node. Enter your Onion address and port. You can mark it as trusted since it's your own node. Now, as you can see, it disconnected because GUI wallet doesn't support Tor natively. So all we need to do is to run Tor service at the background for that. So go to GUI wallet, settings, interface, and make sure SOX 5 proxy is enabled as well. Now open terminal on your machine and let's install Tor, sudo apt install Tor, and sudo apt enable Tor, sudo apt start Tor, let's check the status, sudo apt status Tor at default, and let's try connect again with your GUI wallet. Sometimes you need to restart the GUI wallet if it doesn't work, or just kill the process and start it again. But as you can see here, in this case, it starts syncing over Tor. It will be slower than clearnet, of course, but it's only for the first time. And another thing I need to mention, as you can see in my Cake wallet, the node's still available on clearnet as well. The node marked as green, and the wallet bind to the node via LAN, local IP 192.168, port 180.89. Let's check it out with the GUI wallet as well. It sits on the same LAN, so add another node address with the same local LAN IP and ports. RPC port, disable the SOX 5 proxy, and you can see that it's still available on the clearnet. And we also can access via Tor. Okay, last check for the Tor communication. I will use my Cake wallet on my mobile, and we will enable built-in Tor support in order Tor routing will work. Let's remove all the default nodes that come with the Cake wallet. Now we will add our own node, onion address and port. All right, it's connected, but it syncs very slow, but yet it's working, so all good. All right, let's go back to our node, and on the terminal write ss toolpan, and as you can see, 0000.180.89 and 0000.180.80, that's mean our node access via all the interfaces over the clear network, and it's also accessed via Tor over localhost port 9050. So if you want to limit access only for Tor, we can do a workaround and change the P2P and RPC binding from all the interfaces to localhost or only for specific interface. In case you still want to access via LAN, all you need to do is change the Monero-Node config file, P2P binding IP to 127.0.0.1 and RPC restricted bind IP 127.0.0.1. So that will stop the clearnet access. But this alone does not make it Tor only. You also need to use firewall to block clearnet access and outgoing traffic. So I will keep it for the next video and I will cut it out from this video in order not to overwhelm you guys. I will upload dedicated video blocking clearnet access after this video. Alright, next the Monero team recommending to backup the torrc folder that contains the public and private keys. That's in case you want to keep your onion address, because every time you will edit the torrc file and add new hidden directory, the Tor will generate new private and public key, and that will cause to the new onion address to be generated. So better backup the folder etc tor torrc that contains the keys and onion address we just created. Alright, so our node is now available on Tor network and all the wallets are connected via Tor. Let's stop here. We will continue at the next video for blocking clearnet access to our Tor node. If you find this video useful and beneficial, please like, share, subscribe, and write a comment. I promise answering all the comments. So I wish you all the best. Cheers.